hey, Grandma, you know you've got a spare garage space, you're not doing much with it. Can I just put my car in there for a bit? Won't be in there long, I promise. Love you, bye. Is that a familiar comment? Well, that's exactly what has happened with today's episode. The car that got put in there has been in there since the late 90s, since 1999. And what it is right at the end of the 80s, a very extreme hot hatch, a turbo hot hatch that was rare in period, and I suspect is even rarer now. In fact, I haven't seen one for a very long time, and maybe that's the same for you. So we're gonna get this car out, we're gonna see if there's a chance of firing up for the first time in many years. This is, of course, a barn find episode of The Late Break Show. I'm Jonny Smith, and this episode is proudly supported by WD-40. This is Uncle Scott. Now, I call you Uncle Scott because that's how I was introduced to you via email. Your nephew, Mason, emailed The Late Break Show and said, you've got to feature my uncle's car. Uncle Scott's got a really rare hot hatch. And here we are. So, tell us the story, Scott. This car is in a garage that's not yours.
Yeah.
It's your grandma's house.
It's always been kept in a garage that's not mine. This is the second garage that's been kept in, yeah.
So it's always been in your grandma's garage, basically?
Yeah. And moved with my grandma to this new bungalow, yeah.
And you bought the car in the late 90s, right?
Yeah, in late 97, 98, something like that, yeah.
Right. And the car is a MG Maestro Turbo. I didn't realise how rare these were in period until I started to do just a little bit of research. 505 were ever made?
Yep, that's
Is that right, of
yeah,
the Turbo
yeah.
model?
And I think they only sold 500 of them, and the other 5 was retained by the company.
Wow.
So,
bizarrely, and one of the first cars, the Maestro, to have body-coloured bumpers, which I didn't realise. And you said to me, because we're based in Leicestershire, oh no, we're in Warwickshire.
Warwickshire, yeah.
They actually made the body kits and stuff not that far away from where we are.
Yeah, it's not very far away at all.
By TICKFORD?
Yeah, TICKFORD, yeah. They put all the body kits on them, like I say, in the town not too far away from here, in Bedworth.
So tell me, how did you come by this?
Well, it's a car that I always wanted, and obviously they are quite rare, so I just kept looking through Fast Car, Revs, Auto Trader, did look at 3 or 4, and this one was in a garage in Coventry, and I did a PX with the vehicle I was driving at the time.
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
What were you driving?
An Orion 1.6 injection gear, Mark 6, and traded it in. And just, I think he gave me a couple of £1,000 for it after I paid 6 for it.
Oh my God.
But I wanted the car that badly, so yeah, have the Orion, have the extra 1600 or whatever it was to make up the difference.
So when you parked it up, it was running and driving?
Yeah, it was running and driving. I did a few repairs to it, well, I say a few, a new gearbox, new turbo, and a head gasket within the 18 months that I had it on the road, and then the body sort of deteriorated that much that it didn't look right, it just looked a wreck, so I pulled it off the road. Mechanically it was sound.
Okay, let's have a look, shall we? Oh, white garage door for a white car.
Almost white.
Almost white.
Yeah.
Poor thing. So you bought it when it was about 10 years old?
Yeah.
Right, okay. Oh yeah, because the tax disc says it.
Yeah, it's still, yeah. That was the year my son was born. That probably had something to do with me taking it off the road.
Was
as well.
it? So
yeah.
Your son was
financially,
born in 99?
Yeah.
I'm loving, and this really dates it, with my old Revs magazine Max Power head on, the italic fake carbon fibre number plates.
Made by myself.
You made them?
I made them, yeah. At a company that I work, I cut the carbon fibre stenciling letter out and then just made them at work, running through the plate machine.
Brilliant. Yeah, flat tyres.
Yeah, I think the tyres will be flat, definitely, Johnny. But I did leave the handbrake off. So,
Good.
If we did need to get it out for any reason, if we decide to clean it a little bit later on.
Bloody hell, we're going to get this thing out. Scott.
Oh, yeah, that's good then.
It conveniently turns out that Uncle Scott's a mechanic by trade, so we've hopefully got an even better chance of getting this thing running. Are you confident that?
I am 75–80% confident that we could get it running today.
Okay. So it looks like you've got an interesting collection of bedding and foam.
Yeah.
What's the deal with
A lot
that?
to do with my brother, that is. Yeah, he used to be a trimmer for boats, a boating company. Leather seats and stuff.
Okay, so that's all upholstery.
Yeah, yeah.
Right, so we'll dig all that out in a sec, but I've got to have a look at the engine.
Yeah, yeah.
Please. This is the main event, right? And that's the original bit of trim, isn't it?
Well, I don't think it's original. I think it's a Halfords aftermarket.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it doesn't quite fit in the gap, and it wouldn't be suffice if it was all painted, and I wouldn't be putting something like that on it.
Look.
Oh my God. I'd actually forgot that I'd painted it and colour coordinated the head.
So that was painted?
Yeah, it was a head gasket that I did,
Yeah.
and back in the day it needed to be white and painted.
So you painted the head white?
I painted the head white, yeah.
And then the cam cover black?
Yeah, yeah, and cleaned everything else up. So
Do you know what? It actually looks pretty good in there. I think.
there is a new turbo on it and stainless exhaust.
Right.
And like I say, it was running.
I've dug out my notebook because I was going to say, I forgot how powerful these were. So a 2 litre engine, 8 valve, I think it was.
Yeah.
Garrett T3 turbo, producing 150 horsepower, 5,100 RPM, 169 pounds-feet of torque, 0 to 60 in 6.7 seconds. Which was fast. So I think it'll be easy to work on it out there on the drive.
Yes,
as long as your
obviously.
grandma doesn't go mad that we're...
No, she
We're
won't
gonna
get up out of the chair. She wouldn't see.
Right, it's quite tight in this garage, but it's dry. It's been bone dry, so the Maestro probably hasn't got any worse than it was when Scott put it away. All 4 tyres are flat and very, very crusty. So I don't think his Dunlop Sport D8s are going to be roadworthy again. But let's see if they hold any pressure so we can get the car out. Have a look at the alloys. Love them. What are these? 185, 55, 15. So in the advert, boldly proclaimed how low profile the tyres were. Because low profile tyres in the 80s were quite few and far between. I think we forget how tiny tyres have become in terms of profile. Right, 185, putting a lot of power down the old 185s, 150 horsepower with a shed load of torque steer. This is when because they're all flat, and I mean flat, I probably should have brought some kind of compressor. Good news is all 4 tyres have pumped up and are holding air. Can't hear any hissing.
Nope.
So that's really good. I've broken my foot pump. So it did work. It just died on the final corner. So everything's got air in it. But you think that there's a bit of seizure on the brakes just from trying to push it.
Yeah.
We can't jack it up on this side. It's too tight against the side of the garage. So we'll probably attach a tow rope to my car and we'll just give it a nudge out.
Yeah, it should free off and then hopefully roll enough down the hill there.
Yeah. You get ready with the brick.
Yeah.
To put on the front wheel in case it goes into the back of the car.
Yeah.
And then we should see it out in the Warwickshire, I was going to say sun, slightly overcast.
Well, it's not raining, it's not raining.
It's not raining. Yeah. Looks better though without all the upholstery on it.
Yeah.
And all your brother's dumped stuff.
Yeah, it does, yeah. And even the tyres, blowing up, it looks a lot better.
It does.
Reminds you how it used to be.
Right, it's in neutral then, is it?
Yeah.
Right, I'm just going to...
Oh, it's going, I think.
It is going?
Yeah.
Okay, so it was mostly the tyre, the flat tyre.
So I have been right. Let's hope it's right on the
Right, let's just tow...
You're going to...
Do you want me to go at the front and catch it?
Yeah.
I'll go at the front.
It does seem to be rolling pretty free.
It does. I'm amazed. I thought we'd have to get the car and tug it. Right, goodness. Wow, okay, right. Off we go. This is when I wish I put my belt on. Right, a couple more feet. Yeah, a bit more? A bit more, I reckon? little bit more, little bit more, little bit more. Try that. Does the handbrake work? Handbrake work?
Yeah.
It's great, isn't it?
It is. It's nice to see it finally out.
Yeah. I really think, because now the Maestros were only a 5-door car. So even the hot hatch version, it's the same body shell. We said before, similar chassis underpinnings to the Montego, its bigger brother. This car was invented, the Maestro, to supersede the Allegro, whereas the Montego superseded the Maxi, if you remember what an Austin Maxi was. My dad had one. Was this like the fastest hatch that you ever owned?
Yeah, not to 60.
You've had a few cars, haven't
I've had a few cars, yeah. A small Lancia, 1600 though, a turbo, an Audi Peugeot GTI 309. But yeah, it's probably the fastest 0 to 60 vehicle, yeah.
Yeah. So you can see all of the scabs that you were talking about that were kind of looking a bit horrible.
And these were actually on warranty claims. On the service book, yeah, they've got warranty claims for bleeding through seams.
Really, when the car was nearly new?
Nearly new, yeah. Probably 5th, 6th service in.
Oh my God.
Maybe, yeah.
Well, it's been dry stored all these years and now we've pulled it out. Within 10 minutes of pulling the poor Maestro out, it started to spit with rain. Hopefully that will pass and we'll have another bit more of a look round before setting to work on the engine. I've got to have a look inside. This brings back so many memories. I remember a friend of mine from school's dad had an MG Maestro, and I was too young to know whether it was a turbo or not. I think it wasn't a turbo because it had a talking dashboard. But it was one of the first cars I ever went in which had electric windows. So at the time it felt really special. And yours has got electric windows in the back and the front, hence the totally invisible blanking panels to where the cranks used to be, and there the switches are down there for the rear. But do you know what, the upholstery, Scott's really good.
It is, yeah.
It's really good because this stuff does not wear well.
No.
And I've noticed you've taken the headlining board out.
Yeah, due to a water leak.
From the sunroof.
Yeah.
And did it start flopping down by any chance?
It did, yeah, like the normal, standard.
And also, did you fit the bee sting aerial?
Yes, I did, yeah.
Because they were so fashionable in the 90s. You might have noticed bee stings were not on cars, older cars like this. It's got the traditional aerial on the A-pillar there, but the bee sting's been fitted. But the carpets and stuff and the mats are really good. The door panels with the old MG red stripes, everything's good. And the front end here, yeah, the dash and everything looks really good. I mean, the build quality of these, I think it's fair to say, wasn't great when they were new. It's really good in here, actually. You've even got, look at this, you've even got the MG parcel mat from the top of the dash. Probably a very rare thing to find now. Door card's still good. The old blanking panel for the electric windows. And yeah, it's MG carpets are pretty good actually. And I can't see any signs of mice, Scott, which I'm pleased about, because I think mice would absolutely devour this fella. And finding good condition MG seats now would probably be quite hard. And that is totally not an MG.
Yeah, that's also Nissan.
So,
Primera GTI.
is that what that is?
Yeah.
A Primera GTI knob. That's a rare car now anyway.
It is, yeah.
So that came from when you worked in a Nissan garage?
Yeah.
Brilliant. Brilliant. And there is no radio in it. You obviously moved that to another car.
Yeah.
Remember we said earlier on in the show, they made 505 of these. So low. 215 red ones, that's the most common colour. 149 green ones. 92 white ones, or might be 72 white ones, I can't read my own writing. And 49 black ones. So black was the rarest colour.
It was, yeah, and they did a H reg, which was also rare to get it on a H plate.
Was it?
Yeah. If
So
you can get a black
realised-
H plate, it would be the ultimate, I think.
So this is G reg?
Yeah.
89?
Yeah.
So this car was 10 years old when you put it away?
Yeah.
Right, engine time. So the plan is, you said it last ran
23 years ago.
23 years ago, after quite a lot of work.
Yeah.
We need to do some preliminary checks, so we're going to probably take the spark plugs out,
Yeah.
squirt some WD-40 penetrating oil down there just to make sure, and we'll probably try and turn it over with the plugs out so there's no compression. Lube up the carb linkages,
Yep.
check the dash pot oil in there.
There's a breather hose deteriorated.
Yeah, you said that. I've probably got some hose. I can ease a new hose on there. Check the water level. Check the oil level, obviously. This battery is an Austin Rover battery.
Been sick.
That you've left on for a long time.
Yeah.
Get rid of that. Put a better battery on and a jump pack, and then cross the fingers that this alarm doesn't go mad, and that stuff like that. But we'll know about that when we go to turn it over without the compression, without the plugs in. All right. Right, a bit worried about the battery tray. I mean, they are semi-sacrificial, but this one has been sat in battery acid for a long time. So let's see. That is not going to go again. That's actually...
I've seen a lot worse.
I have as well.
Yeah.
That is not bad. Maybe this Maestro wants to live. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I hope so as well. So you can't see the turbo despite the big proclaimed letters on the cam cover. It's down there. It's right down the back where the exhaust manifold is, but the ignition is on the end of the cam here, so it's quite accessible. This is the intercooler because this bad boy was intercooled, which obviously it says somewhere down there. Yeah. So we'll have a look inside the ignition distributor cap. Probably clean up the rotor arm and stuff. Just make sure that's nice and clean and bright. Right. In fact, probably take off the intercooler pipes. Oh no, I might be able to get to it. I will probably.
Or maybe the air filter.
Yeah.
I don't know how easy that comes off.
Because that's weird, isn't it? So that's where the air comes in.
No, that's just a cooling, pure.
Oh, that's
cooling.
Just for cooling.
Yeah.
That's the air intake.
That's the air intake, yeah. The cool
It's a very
air.
unsexy air intake
It
for
is,
a turbo car, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
And that goes right down there, whereas that takes, you said that's got a little fan in it?
Yeah, a little electric motor that just keeps the fuel and the hot air away from the carburetor. Because it's not a uniflow, it's a... Well, uniflow is across the engine, isn't it? And it's on top. It's not a crossflow, it's a uniflow.
Yes. Right, so we've cleaned up the rotor arm. The distributor cap looks really good. Obviously plugs are clean, but not in yet. We're going to turn it over for the first time without the plugs in, just to see if it's free. We've taken off the fuel lines there, off the SU carb. We don't want any fuel to go in yet, and I'm just going to see if I get any fuel coming out, but we'll bypass that and use Tony's can of hope as a separate fuel supply. So I'm going to present you with the key fobs of potential danger. So if you want to follow Scott as he embarks on trying to demobilise. I am nervous of this because I know that they can be a complete pain. So tell me if you're getting dash lights.
Have we connected battery?
Oh yeah, that will help, won't it? Yeah, because
I've got no battery. I've got no lights.
Yeah, because I took it off because it has that fan that won't stop going.
Oh yeah, the
Do you remember?
cooling fan. Yeah.
So let's see if it. If you take the keys out.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not working. That's good. Good. So I'll just tighten this up, and then we can.
My immobiliser's working because it's flashing.
It is working.
Well, it's working. It's immobilised.
Okay, so. Wow. Right. Okay, I'm deaf. Yeah. I've just got the biggest face full of, guess what? White paint from your head. Dry flakes of white paint have come out. The time has come to go for a startup. So we're going to introduce the can of hope remote fuel tank, which I'm going to put onto the inlet of the fuel of the carb, which is there, and then the return, which is there. And then Scott's going to replace this little breather pipe, which goes from there to
just above the fuel.
there.
Yeah,
there, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just a little loop.
Because it's crumbled and just turned to dust. So we'll spray a little bit of PTFE on that, squeeze that on, and then we are good to, as long as the immobiliser an alarm behaves itself.
Yeah. Well, we've got a spark, so
we've got a strong spark instantly. So the plugs are back on, in, and I'm quietly confident that we might hear the Maestro Turbo fire up.
You changed your tune then?
I have actually. I have. Oh, I've just remembered. Also, we need to put a little dash of oil in this dash pot,
yeah.
which the SU carb needs a little bit of oil in the top here. Right. We're going to be using the carburettor fuel pump, which is lower pressure, because I don't think this is not a high pressure fuel injected car. So we're going to do that. Wedge the can under here, somewhere under here. I will mind your white bodywork as much as possible.
Yeah,
you want, while I'm doing this, if you want to stick, yeah, if you could do that, I'm going to stick the feed in. And Scott's going to put some water in the rad. This is an air-to-air intercooler on these, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's in. Return can go on. It's a bit more of a tricky fit, that one. That one. Right, so I'm going to start priming it.
Yeah, I've got to go through all the motions with the alarm.
You go through all your motions with the immobiliser and the arm. Please don't deafen me. That's all I ask.
It might go off, I can't promise that.
I think it bloody well will. I know it will.
Well, the alarm stayed off, I think, so it's just the immobiliser.
Oh, are you still playing? You still playing a mob? Oh, I'm going to cover my ear because I'm slightly suspicious of.
Right, I'm ready, Johnny. Whenever you are.
Yeah, I've got the.
Yeah, go now then.
Right, interesting. We think we just want to have a look inside the top of the carburettor. So we're going to take off this little sort of plenum and have a look inside the throat of the carb. And while we're there, just making sure it's clean and stuff, I'll probably put a little bit of fresh fuel in straight on the top.
Well, that was jammed up there and seized.
Was it?
Yeah.
The butterfly?
Yeah. Well, it's like the dampener.
Okay, yeah.
The pot that we've just oiled, it's the dash pot. There's a big piston that's obviously the needle's on the bottom of that, and it drags it up and down. But the more air you need, this should flow up, and obviously it was
that was just jammed.
Yeah, jammed. Yeah.
So you've just relieved that then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which sounds promising.
It does. So if we spray, we can put just a tickle of
fuel in there,
just a little.
Yeah.
Bolt that back on. All right. Well, let's just. Goodness me!
It is right there.
So show me the vast folder that you've got in this thing, because this is great. You've got all this stuff.
This is the number of the vehicle.
The number of the beast?
Yeah.
Which number is it?
It is number 304.
Number 304.
Yeah.
Date of delivery to Tickford, 17th of August 1989. Odometer reading on delivery, 10 miles.
Yeah.
Wow. Number 304 was part of a batch of 4 cars, 3 green and 1 white.
Yeah, they sent them in batches to Tickford.
Brilliant.
From Rover, yeah.
And it was 92 diamond white cars
92,
were made.
Yeah. And that's the little plaque.
Look at that. MG Maestro Turbo number 304 of a limited edition of 505.
Yeah. Just a few parts lists there. Immobiliser for insurance purposes.
Yeah.
Old tax discs.
Look at this.
A
You've
little-
got to show them this.
Cut out, yeah.
Look at this, look. This is the sign of someone who's really enthusiastic.
Well, that was when I was looking for them. And
Got
trying
a
to-
piece of cardboard with
Yeah,
glued
yeah, stick
together
them back in,
old
John.
advert. Now you were saying that the original owner of this car, you've got
Yeah,
the original handbook and the service manual.
Yeah.
There it is. Look at that. This is great. I didn't realise it had electric mirrors.
Yeah, I did mention it earlier in the video. I think.
Yeah. Electric windows, electric mirrors. Okay, so that's the handbook.
Yeah,
And that,
this is the original service book. But these, this is where it gets interesting with the body rot. 6,000 miles, corrosion okay, no corrosion on there.
13,000 miles.
13,000 miles,
27,000.
still no corrosion.
No corrosion. Good.
Still no corrosion. 36,000 miles.
44,000 miles. So this is 1992.
No, this is the 36,000 miles. This is on the back of.
Okay.
Yeah, the 36.
So that is right. So that's 1992.
Mm.
Corrosion 2. Front of bonnet. Something near side
And
washer
near
jet.
Side, is it? And near side.
Offside A post.
Yeah.
Well, offside rear door.
Door, yeah.
Offside post joint. Tailgate.
Back seams.
Yes. It's these.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Where this sort
Yeah.
of this waistband
Yeah.
panel. Bloody
Yeah.
hell. And this is all when it was 3 years old.
Yeah.
This was the original mag advert where it said, faster than a Porsche, faster than a Lamborghini, faster than a Lotus and an Aston Martin. And then it says, quite an achievement, 0 to 60 time of 6.7 seconds. It will leave many top sports cars trailing in its wake with its powerful 2-litre intercooled turbo and 5-speed gearbox. But in the small print it says, performance claims, Ferrari Mondial 7.4 seconds, Lamborghini Jalpa 7 seconds, Lotus XL 6.8, Aston Martin V8 Volante 7 seconds. So it was very specific. And I think the Porsche 944 might have been. Yeah.
No, the 944 was quite a quick car.
It was a quick car.
Yeah.
Would have been a non-turbo, obviously.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
this is all great.
The Max Power buying guide.
Yeah. And I love the fact that on the spine there's some rev stickers. And I used to work on revs. And so did Matty behind the camera. So we are going to give it one final try. It's stumbling, it's tried to, we think we're almost certain we flooded it. So we've drained it back through, some of it's on my face. Long story, the cameras weren't rolling. Probably for the best. And so now we're going to try the startup. Let's hope that it works. Are you ready, Scott?
Yeah, I'm ready when you
Is
say
the
so.
immobiliser going to deafen me or the alarm?
No, I'm not going to deafen you or wet you at all.
Please don't. Please, if that's okay.
All right.
I'm not going to give it fuel until you've given it a go, because I think there's enough fuel in it.
Yeah.
And I don't want to...
Right, here we go.
Well, that's okay. So we have good.
Okay.
That's a fire. That's
Again?
an actual fire. Yep. Oh. Right, I haven't got the can of hope hooked up because I'm thick.
Oh, right.
I've seen it. It's just spit a bit on the top.
I took it off and obviously didn't put it back on in all of the confusion. So that's just started with the fuel that was in the carb.
Yeah.
So now I need to take that back because I've put the bloody thing back on that.
Yeah.
So
We didn't put the clip on though, did we?
No, I've just been dim. It's my fault. I wasn't paying attention. I've inhaled too much
But that's
fuel.
definitely
The fuel fumes are going.
Yeah. So if we put that back on, I think it's not too flooded, is it?
No.
That's really smooth. That idle. Oh well, hang on.
About to go, it sounds.
It's because we're gravity feeding it.
Yeah.
Needs more fuel. Does it need more fuel?
Yeah. Soon uses the fuel up, doesn't it?
It does. Just try and idle it. Damn you. Fair play though, I mean it's been sat a long time, hasn't it?
No.
Might be down for the count.
Well, so if we never get it running again today, I'm pleased because I've heard it running. It's a healthy engine, it just needs recommissioning. And that's the first time it's run in like 23, 24 years, which is brilliant.
Yeah.
We haven't had time to clean it because it's taken longer to fettle the engine, but I'm okay with that. I'm fine with that. And I hope you've enjoyed this episode of the Late Break Show with a lovely 80s Maestro Turbo barn find.
Thank you for coming.
Well, I hope you've enjoyed listening to it and sitting in it.
It's something I wouldn't have done today if you hadn't got involved.
Well, I hope that
and I'm pleased I have done it.
Well, I hope it kind of acts as a bit of a catalyst to get it back on the road, especially for these guys.
Yeah.
They've never heard it in their lives.
Yeah.
Not once.
And potentially now it is a good project.
I think it is.
Yeah.
You know you can do all of this.
Yeah.
It's just a case of finding someone to do the body work. And then
that's
this
it.
thing can live again easily. It's not rotten
No.
at all.
It's got life in it.
It's absolutely got life in it. Now, if you know of any cars that you think are of interest in a hedge, on a drive, in a real barn or in a garage like this, let me know in the description below. And thanks for watching.